Today's daily lesson rewind is on lesson 8, simple interest. So our learning objectives are going to be how to use simple interest to find the interest earned on savings accounts and find interest owed on loans and credit cards. So our vocabulary is going to be principal and simple interest. So simple interest I is the product of the principal P, the annual interest rate R, and the time t expressed in years. So we're going to have this equation that's I equals P times R times t. So a good way to remember this is we're going to take a trip to the bank for a loan. So the key information that we're going to need to know is T, which stands for term. So that's going to be the length of the investment in loans or years, or excuse me, investment or loans in years. So you're always going to have years there. R stands for rate, which is going to be the interest earned or paid as a percent. So it's always going to be a percent that's changed into a decimal. I stands for the total interest earned of paid dollars. And P is the principal, which is the amount of money invested or borrowed. So that equation again is going to be I equals P times R times T. So using that, we're going to look at this example. So Arnold puts $580 into a savings account. The account pays 3% simple interest. How much interest will he earn in each amount of time? So the only time period that they give us here is 5 years. So if we go back, our equation is I equals P times R times T. So let's identify each piece. First, let's write this. I equals P times R times T. So principal, we said, is the amount of money. So we have $580. And then the rate we said is the percent, but we're going to turn it into a decimal. So we have 3% turned into a decimal. We have 0.03. And then for T, we want time in years. So they gave us 5 years. And that's going to equal I. So how much interest will he earn in 5 years? So let's put this all together. We have 580 times 0.03 times 5, and we should get 87. So he earns $87 in those 5 years. So if we look at the next slide, we're going to copy down this simple interest algorithm. So the first thing we're going to do is identify how long, so the time, so how long we're looking for, the rate, which is that percentage, and change it into a decimal, the interest, or if that's what we're looking for, then we won't put anything there, and the principal, which is that amount of money. The second step, we're going to substitute TRIP into that equation I equals P times R times T. And we're going to, like I said, change that rate from a percent to a decimal. And then we're going to evaluate, so we're just going to solve that equation and we're going to state our answer. So let's look again. So this is the same problem, but the time has changed. So we have Arnold puts $580 into a savings account. The account pays 3% simple interest. How much interest will he earn in 6 months? So we're going to go back. The first thing we do is identify the time, rate, interest, and principal. So the time is 6 months. And then the rate is 3%. Interest is what we're looking for. And the principal is 580. So let's put that in. We have I equals P, so 580, times R, which is that percent written as a decimal, so we'll say 0.03, times T, which is time in months, or time in years, excuse me. So they gave us 6 months, and we know 6 months is half of a year. And so we always want to express our time in years. So instead of writing 6 for time, we'll put 1/2 because it's half of a year. I reduced this 1/2 from 6/12 because for 6 months we have 12 months equals 1 year, and so we have 6 of those months, so I have 6/12, but I can reduce it to 1/12. So if it makes more sense to put 6/12, go for it. If you can go ahead and make that distinction to 1/2, that's fine too. So now let's go back again. So we identified, we substituted, and now it's time to evaluate. So we have 580 times 0.03 times 6/12, and we should get 8.7. And then step 4 is to evaluate, or excuse me, step 4 is to state our answer. So Arnold makes $8.70 interest in 6 months. So go ahead and try the rest of these on your own. Good luck!